here because he wants to be
a producer.
he wants to be involved, but he doesn't want to be in front of the camera.
I mean, it would fit his giant overlord thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna know we're talking about him. Oh, Sap. Cheese it!
Cheese it! That's home! Cheese it!
Hey, I mean, whatever you gotta do. I mean, you know. Hootsuite is still a thing? Man, I was Hootsuiting in college.
Is that mine or yours doing that noise? Okay.
Sound?
That's
yeah,
me.
I don't have it tabbed up. Not yet. Oh yeah. How you doing, baby? I'm doing just fine. I am, before I get like a work email or something like that, gonna turn my volume all the way down. Ding! How about I pull up the Twitters and what you talking about?
Oh! Hey, Joe. How you doing, boo?
Twitch.tv just wants to autofill to Pete.
But see, mine automatically autofills to Alligator Pete. I can't get it to do his new one.
Yeah, you have to dump all your cookies and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Chrome. Hi, Twitch. How y'all doing?
Hey!
I don't need Twitch Prime, thank you. I have Twitch Prime on the other account. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the pre-show.
Your friend Hoover's just started watching. Welcome to the pre-show goodies.
Hey Hoover, how you doing?
Great. Long time caller, first time listener. No, long time listener, first time caller. That's it. That's getting it all out right now.
Hey, you know, I don't mind it being the other way around. Like, I think I'd probably be more comfortable just calling radio stations that I never listened to.
Yeah.
Like, if there was just some sort of an auto dialer. And it's like, do you know what station you're listening to today? I have no fucking clue. I just I have this app that says that you could give me a free TV. You and Peter's so much better at it than I am.
Lots of practice.
Notice me, senpai. Teach me.
Oh, let me put it in the Discord channel.
Mm-hmm. 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 There's the notes. There they are.
You kill that, can you kill that fan, please? Put her down. About to get really hot up in here.
Would you hand me that pillow?
the Lannisters send their regards.
The pillow has been dealt with. Not the, oh no, fan. The fan has been dealt with.
Yes, sir, Joe. Sorry, I see you screaming at me. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? Punch Hoover in the balls. Oh, he's already sat down. I'll
Yeah.
get him in a bit.
I'm guarded. So, a while back, my grandma asked me if I would do my best to stop damning things in the name of her favorite deity.
You mentioned this on the podcast once, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done a very good job. It's my favorite curse, and I realize like all of my favorite proclamations are all
Absolutely.
are all faith based, I guess. So they're all.
It rolls off the tongue really well.
Well, yeah. Well, that was my big taboo, right? Whenever
Yeah.
I was a kid, like that's how you learn how to curse.
Right.
Is you take whatever is going to offend the most, and you're
Yeah,
like,
you just go for it.
there it is.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. You know, some people that's fuck
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
fuck is a comma for me.
Yeah.
Like I mean, and I do it even at work. I use the F-bomb like it was going out of style at work.
Mm-hmm.
But goddamn was another one of those ones because my grandfather cussed a lot, and my father is, we spent 30 years in the Navy, so when people start blushing around me, I just have to remember where I'm at sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my grandfather also had Tourette's too, or a form of it, so it was.
I don't mean
never
to
a
laugh
dull-
at Tourette's. I mean, like
Right.
that
never-
sounds hilarious.
You're just kind of like, well, there's a joke coming here, right? There's
No.
a joke coming here? No. How's a sound for everybody out there? Waiting
Great.
for Joe. Sounds great, apparently. Or we've killed him.
Yeah. But yeah, so I decided I'd wear my Mega Ran hat today in an effort to try to be a bit more creative with my profanities, if I can.
So, Mega Ran's coming for PAX, right?
Yeah.
And Mega Ran has he's got a concert the night that we would be doing the show at Numos. I wonder, Twitchland, if we were to get Mega Ran on the show, hit him up with some DMs, we'd record the podcast maybe a day late that week or something like that. Maybe we could try to get an interview with the Mega Rans. He's also with MC Lars, so it's going to be another good show. I don't know if you can go or not, Hoover, but it's on a Tuesday night, which we would be recording a podcast anyways. I'm just saying.
I have to look into it.
Yeah.
I'll check with my assistant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey guys, let's start the show. Not Diamond.
Hey. Joe hates everything though, so he's probably
That's okay.
pretty fucked.
Because you just completely fucked up my intro. It starts to peter out. I'm supposed to go, welcome to Super Magical Podcast, a show where we take a sincere, sarcastic, and this week, a very structural look at the world of video games, TV, music, movies, and more. Joining me in the studio, sitting here is this handsome man, Hoover. How are you, mate?
Hey boy, how you doing?
This week, we've got to fly straight, Hoover. We've got a lot of video games to talk about. All that TV and movie and music news and all like that. This week's got to take just a complete back burner. What's our first topic?
San Diego Comic-Con.
Son of a bitch!
And then Fortnite. So at least we got
that. I kid. So what happened at San Diego Comic-Con?
All the things.
All the things.
All the things.
Okay.
I kind of felt like our S word this week should have been skeptical, though, because I felt like I got a little bit of mallow, like going, I don't know.
You had a lot of.
I don't know how I feel about this.
So you're catching up with the beard now, and you can do this every time that you're a little skeptical. Yes.
Highly suspicious.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got Stranger Things 2, right? Ragnarok, Justice League, Defenders,
Yeah.
Ready Player One, all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah.
And
even more than that, because didn't we get another thing for like Black Panther and
there was some Infinity War news that came out today that I didn't get a chance to.
did they drop the trailer for Infinity War?
No.
Because I only saw like the bootleg copy.
Yeah, it's no official trailer. I think
Okay.
there is somebody that's like leaked some shit online, but
Yeah.
it'll circulate leaked for a little while, and then we'll get the HD version. I'll
Yeah.
watch that while I'm taking a dump or something. It's the only time of day I have to do these things.
So Stranger Things 2. You were a big
man.
fan of Stranger Things 1, correct?
I'm okay. So for just future reference, I am a pansy as far as like tense things go,
Yeah.
horror, anything like that. And for some reason, recently those things have been fascinating me.
Okay.
And like I think it kicked off with Layers of Fear, which I mentioned before.
Which we have a video of on YouTube of us freaking the
And it
out.
was great. Like
Yeah,
I
it
had
was a lot
to
of
keep
fun.
playing it. Like the first couple episodes that we put up on YouTube, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this.
Mommy,
And
I'm
by the end of it,
scared.
I was like, it's over. No. But shortly thereafter, I think the first season of Stranger Things
Yeah.
came on, and my wife was like, no, I'm not watching that because she doesn't do scary either.
Yeah.
And I sat down.
Was
and
it
I, like,
scary though? I didn't.
It's
so
just.
total. I did not watch it.
Oh,
I will stream
man.
it all in one shot because everybody, as a writer, was like, "Oh my god, there's all these D&D references," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, great, cool."
I binged it like every night, cram in 2 episodes before I passed out, and it was so good. So it's not like super in your face. It's all just terrifying all the time, but it had some really tense situations.
Is it more psychological thriller or
I mean, there's
or
monsters
more
and-
psychological? Yeah.
I think it's just the tenseness of the scenes. They don't scare the shit out of you with like any jumps and things like that. I mean, they might. I don't recall specifically
Right.
that was like the allure, though. It was like really dark, tense settings where you were legitimately worried about losing your favorite characters.
You were trying to turn the brightness up on your TV.
Oh hell yeah, man!
You're trying to do every cheat code.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So the trailer for Stranger Things 2 came out. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have. It's actually quite beautiful.
Yeah,
That was the first thing that I noticed. I was like, man, this is really pretty.
that's the other.
Is this
thing.
what the rest of the show was? I didn't.
Yeah,
I missed that. So
it's all so perfectly like me and you were totally into that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But like when you make everything just a really important decision aesthetically, like every little thing, every shot was like they clearly thought about it. They weren't just like, we need a wide shot. I don't know. Put the camera over there.
Right.
Then we'll do the shots I give a fuck about. Like every bit of it was like lovingly crafted. Color palettes were on point. Lights were on point. Acting was on point. Oh, so good. And so another fascination of mine that they just immediately were like, there's what Hoover needs. Pull that down. Put that in his face. When the lightning crackles and you have that like Titanic beast
yeah.
in the trailer, like the kid's like in an arcade or something like that.
Yeah, they were in
And-
an arcade. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they're in an arcade, they're chilling, and like the I think they call it the upside down or whatever. The upside down kind of starts to take effect, and dude's like, I think something's wrong, and he turns around and his friends are gone. He steps out of the arcade and lightning crackles in like a red sky.
Lightning crashes. And oh mother. Okay, sorry.
I just
Wrong
I can't
era. It was 1990s, not 80s. All right, got it.
But still, so lightning strikes, it lights up the sky, and there's this Titanic beast.
Yeah.
Beast.
It was
Sorry,
it was one of
voice
those ones.
crack.
It was one of those ones where I was like, all right, where's my Warframe? I want to go kill it. Kill it with fire.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so jazzed about it. I'm really super happy about how it's looking, and I hope that they put the same kind of love in the second season that they did the first, and if so, I'm not worried.
It looks like it. Speaking of kids in the 80s, let's talk about Ready Player One.
I don't know. I've realized I don't know shit about Ready Player One.
You ever read the book either?
I've read the back of the book. Does that count?
Yeah, a little bit. You got to get on that. Read the book. It's actually a really good book. There's some controversy about it though, because it's a little there are some out there that feel like it's a little bit man heavy. We'll say that. In the references and in the 1980s and things like that, because the references, it's such a retro throwback to how things are going. And there's a lot of throwback to like Rush, and you know, I won't say too much to give it away because there's a giant kind of puzzle that kind of goes with it. But it's a Spielberg film, and the book was great. And it's one of those ones where it's like, it's like Spielberg and Ron Howard nowadays, where it's like, I know better. I know better than to get my hopes really up for this. And somebody tried to argue that Spielberg did Indiana Jones, and I'm like, yes, he did. Guess who wrote that? George Lucas. So, and they had other writers and stuff like that. So it was a little bit different. That was Spielberg back then. This is Spielberg now.
It's a lot of years ago.
I've seen a lot of ways that they push it, and it just goes too far.
Yeah.
And when I think of, this is a very like dystopian kind of future in Ready Player One, and that is not what I envisioned in my head when he's inside the video games and stuff. And that was just not anywhere close to, like, it's just like too much. It's like Star Trek Beyond done. Like Joe hates all the Beastie Boys references and things like that. There's gonna be tons of that shit in this movie. Because but I mean, that's the thing. It's all looped into the thread of the book. Is all these '80s references of things that were from historic times, or like the dark times and all that kind of shit. And it's the particular programmer that's making the war game and stuff like that. So I say war game. It's several different things, but it's
right.
Those those will all make sense if you read the book. But the overall look and feel of it just feels like it was like, hey, we can CGI the F out of this game. Let's do it. And it's like, no.
That's a huge bummer. And Spielberg's already been, he's already succumbed to that a few times with just floppy ass movies where he's just like, I don't know, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, what was, he did Super 8, right? Was that him or Howard?
No, I don't think. Super 8? Wouldn't that?
We have this in front of us.
Yeah.
Let's get up.
I'm pretty sure that was like definitely not him.
How about Super 8 movie? Not trying to book a. Yeah, it was produced or directed by J.J. Abrams and produced by Steven Spielberg. So there you go. Yeah, so two people who ruin movies. That's all right. I loved Episode 7. I won't hate on J.J. completely. So yeah, that's another one where I'm kind of stroking my beard a little bit, kind of like,
Yeah.
Pete's keeping me honest. He's like, Super 8 was JJ. Yes, you are correct. We looked it up. Thank you.
I want to say JJ, but I didn't want to sound dumb. And then whenever you said JJ, I was like, fuck, I should say
it. Yeah. We're on that network TV show. And it's live, so people can correct us. So.
Yeah.
You have down here Bright.
Right.
And then I have in parentheses, they owe Shadowrun some money. If I was Tops and Catalyst, I'd be on the phone with some people.
I don't know a whole hell of a lot about Shadowrun, but even I was like, isn't it Shadowrun? It's
Where's my Shadowrun book? I had it
probably in your mountain of books just off camera right there. I would imagine.
Yeah.
But oh man, I was excited whenever I saw that too. Will Smith is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine.
Oh, okay.
I'll watch the shittiest Will Smith movie and be like,
do you celebrate Will Dependence Day?
I do.
Okay. That's fine if you do. It's a running joke in our house.
Na 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 na. Getting jiggy with it.
Yeah. Pete's like the orcs in Bright are 100% Shadowrun orcs. You are correct. That's why I was like, they look like they owe him some money because and the Shadowrun, I do have a love of cyberpunk. Obviously, anybody who's watched the show or listened to us knows. So it's a Will Smith movie. Will Smith is doing Will Smith things in there. So if you like Will Smith movies, you're gonna like it. The rest of the magic and all that kind of stuff kind of feels a little bit like, okay, great, they added it on. And that's supposed to be like the amazing thing about it. But I'm kind of hoping that the buddy cop show feel that it comes together and actually comes up with a really nice plot in the end. Yeah,
I will say through the trailer, I didn't feel a connection
between
the two.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that there's some reason that Will Smith's character is going to give a shit about our orc friend.
Y'all keep doing hood things over there. I'm just gonna try to sell my house.
I love the setting. I love the visuals and all that, and I love the idea of magic being. Yeah. Like a nuke, which I'm pretty sure is what they said verbatim. It's like
I missed that part if they said.
Yeah, they said something like somebody walking around with a suitcase nuke or something like that. And I was
because then all the cops want it then too in the trailer stuff. I feel like they tipped their hand a lot in this, so I'm a little. It was a kind of a long trailer, so I'm a little dubious maybe or a little skeptical in there of what else is going to be in the movie.
It's not going to be a deep movie. It's not going to. I don't think it's going to change the world, but I'm hoping that it does well enough that we might be able to get stuff like this actually like, hey, maybe we could blend fantasy and reality a little bit more.
A series would actually be better. A series set in the Shadowrun world would actually be fantastic. I'd pay a lot of money to see that, even though it's only $9.99 a month for Netflix or whatever. I'd still like be happy with that.
Hey, Netflix, why don't you do it?
Hey,
there you go.
There's a cyberpunk writer sitting right here. If you want to do a show, hi.
Yeah,
well, I know the creators of Shadowrun.
Wait, wasn't this? This is a Netflix movie. Like this is Netflix.
Yeah, it's a Netflix movie. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Netflix, hook a brother up. Call me.
Hey, make all that money off of Bright.
Yeah.
And then turn it into a series.
Call us up. We got
Bring this guy on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of cool things.
Yeah.
Like getting a job at Netflix writing a show.
Like LL Cool J?
Like LL Cool J. LL Cool J would be great for that, although he's in NCIS.
Yeah.
What
about
him
Coolio?
Can we bring Martha Stewart too?
Yeah.
Because they're tight, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bakes mad cookies.
Call us. We got all of this for you. It's cool.
We're handling staffing right here.
Yeah. Thor Ragnarok. Yeah.
I loved it when the infraggable Crunk clashed into Valhalla, and they were like, "Bah!" I love the color palette, man, and I think that's what everybody's saying so far is that
it's got a good one.
They're just shaking it up, and they're not like, I don't know. Thor seems like such a much more interesting character.
Yeah,
because they're using sort of his obliviousness as like a comedic relief instead of being like, I'm a super serious guy. Like
when we if you were here with us over the weekend, we did an event at Mock's boarding house in Bellevue. You heard my thoughts upon Thor getting way too serious in the Avengers, and his couple of comedic moments were great.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that they've gone sort of full on Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit with this, and it's like, thank you, this is what I wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
And then not to spoil too much, but Thor is there in the Avengers, and the first thing that Thor does is a funny, and it's like fantastic because you put him with the Guardians of the Galaxy who are funny, and Rocket Raccoon and all that. It's great, and it's just a nice melding. It looks like a nice story. But if you were there with us this weekend, we had the debate: which is the worst Marvel movie, Iron Man 3, Thor: Dark World? And that's tough to choose, but like that's kind of where we thought it was going, right?
At least in Iron Man, like you had some cool tech, and Thor, it was like I don't even remember who the villain was. First of all,
it was Doctor Who.
Yeah,
it was Christopher Eccleston.
I remember who
playing an
him.
elf, basically.
Yeah, but I don't remember anything about like anything that was really happening. It was
Natalie Portman was in there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She got touched by an angel or the goo or whatever the stone was.
Everything was boring.
Yeah,
is the point.
Yeah,
I would definitely say
it's the Redstone movie. That's what it's like.
Thor 2 Electric Boogaloo is by far the worst. The worst DC movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you hate on DC that much. And we had a Justice League trailer. You hated that movie so much you demoted it to DC Extended Universe.
I did. I hope you like that.
Here's what I'm going to be controversial while you take a sip. The Justice League trailer did nothing to actually make me feel good about a DC movie.
No. Sorry, I'm way entertained with my. I was like, that joke was so wildly. I expected it to fly under the radar. So, the trailer for Justice League.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed in the Flash.
Right.
I mean, I think I think the Flash is probably one of my favorite superheroes because I've always been fascinated with speed, and he's a super smart guy, and there's just like. As far as the writing goes for the Flash, it seems like they're always doing like really sciencey and interesting kinds of things. Obviously,
it's like the Star Trek of the DC universe.
Yeah, it's just fucking cool, man. It's just all the time. I love every bit of it. Like I think in the first comic for the New 52, he's talking about how like when he finally managed to like kind of get a grasp on his powers, he had enough time to analyze situations closely enough that he could predict the foreseeable future and like 5-second increments around him.
Yeah.
So as he's walking around the street, he can see stuff. He can see people dropping things before they're going to drop them because he can see things shifting, and like he lives at a faster pace than everybody else, and he slows himself down. And he's super smart and he's super confident and all that. And then there was like, they were trying to make the Flash the comic relief, which I completely agree with. Don't get me wrong, but he's the comic relief in a sense of his like arrogance and cockiness. Like, like, I don't have to actually disappear while your back is turned because I can do it right now. Like that would have been great, but he was like, oh wow, they really just like, come on, really? You're supposed to be the fastest man alive and you can't tell whenever somebody's moving near you? Like, really?
Or was it, I mean, was it the one thing that it was just like, he automatically like knew? I was like, no, I'm out, bye. You know, I don't know. It was a weird trailer, the CGI, which I know you can't judge the CGI from the trailer because they're going to do a bunch of fit and finish and polish and all like that, but like, I don't know, it just seems, it just seemed like it was,
strangely enough,
it was killing me is what it was. Like, I don't know.
I've spent a lot of time swimming around in After Effects and Premiere, and I can spot those things if I look really closely at them, but I don't tend to be like really super critical. Because I feel like if you get it right, I get the suspension of disbelief because it fits a tone. Yeah. Right?
It's a tone, it's a storytelling technique.
So that won't really dig at me until like I see the final thing and I just see like really jarring out of place kinds of things. Yeah. Like too much color in what should be a relatively dark kind of situation, or you know, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not super excited about it either. I'd still want it to be successful, but
I mean, it's nice to see Aquaman, but like there hasn't been a whole lot of talking points to the rest of them. Mm-hmm. You know, Wonder Woman still seems to be the best out of them all. Yeah. You know, the little outfit thing at the end of it where Superman shows up, like we know Superman is coming. We know. Yep. Just show him. Yep. I mean, come on.
Get the hype going. Everybody and their mother knows that, like, they spent way too much time being like, oh, Superman. Yeah. Is he dead?
Is he dead? Is he not dead? No,
you wouldn't have spent the money talking about him so much if he wasn't going to be, like, in the movie.
The best thing so far about Justice League is that poster that somebody put up. I don't know if it's actually real or not, but the one that was like, you know, to save the world, we must unite, or whatever like that, or something like that. I forget what it is, but it has all their symbols in there. That's been like the best thing about the trailer so far.
Yeah, you got some killer posters. Yeah. They did like a bunch of single posters, and then somebody took all the single posters and like made a huge all-in-one poster with everybody, and everybody's like looking all badass. Like, yeah, man. Yeah. I'm cool with that. But you're right. Yeah. Like that's the best we got is that fucking poster. Yeah. The rest of it is just kind of like, I don't like Aquaman's attitude. Like, that cockiness should have been the Flash's. Yeah. Like,
it's all over the place.
The stoic, the stoic aloof one should have been Aquaman. And, you know, the enthusiastic one should have been Wonder Woman. And Batman should have been Batman. He's not hard to act. Just
emo.
Harumph-a-lot, I guess. Batman, what do you think?
Batarang. That was me. That was me through all of the Arkham series. Just like throw a Batarang. You got more powers. I don't fucking care. Throw a Batarang. If I can't Batarang or punch this to death, I don't care.
Hey, let's flip universes again.
Yeah, go back.
Let's go back to the Defenders.
NYC.
Oh, I'm almost more excited about the Defenders. Yeah. Than I am for this whole Infinity War thing.
The Infinity. You want to talk about tense moments? The entire Infinity War is going to be like tense for me because I'm just like, who is Disney? Who is the House of Mouse going to kill off? Like,
whose contracts are expired?
Right? Yeah. I know it's like professional wrestling. It's like oh, such and such professional wrestlers. Oh, and then it's like
before we get into the Defenders, do you want to call major characters going to die off in Infinity War?
Captain America. Captain America, Iron Man.
I think we're gonna lose them both.
Yeah, because we get new Guardians. Mm-hmm. Well, because they haven't confirmed Captain America will be in the second Spider-Man movie. So, which means we'll probably get Venom or something like that. Not getting Venom, as it's Sony's thing.
Yeah. Well, they said it's going to be tied to the Spider-Man franchise, but it's not necessarily going to be tied to the entirety of the MCU.
Okay, that's fine. I'm with that. As long as as long as Marvel produces it, it'll be hopefully decent quality.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. Pretty pumped about that too.
Yeah. But I think we're losing Captain America. He's although Captain America joining the Beard Brigade with us. Love that. Looks good on him.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good on him in the trailer.
Yeah.
Payload.
Payload.
We forgot to do the Down with Ragnarok joke too. Down with Ragnarok. That's all I had. That's all I got.
That's all there is to the joke. It's still great.
It's the whole joke.
It's going down in Ragnarok. I'm going to be doing that all week now.
Yep.
My coworkers going to be, shut the fuck up.
So the Defenders. Okay.
The Defenders. Yes.
I hated Iron Fist. I loved Luke Cage. Jessica Jones was hard to watch, but man, was it good.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil's always good. Those were some good seasons. I'm excited for Defenders.
So you didn't... I think when we spoke about Iron Fist last, you hadn't watched Iron Fist.
I had not. I have watched enough to know I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I can't make it all the way through. I just can't.
Yeah, there's definitely some things about Iron Fist that I'm not super pumped about. There was that whole, like, they kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with, like, I'm going to be your friend or whatever. And they're like, we don't want you to be our friend. I want to be your friend anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I, like, poisoned you and shit. And like, but I'm still going to be your friend. That's not the Iron Fist that I remember from the comics at all. And granted, I didn't read a whole lot of Iron Fist, but I went and read some Immortal Iron Fist, like some of the key shit. And he's supposed to be very stoic, and he's not dumb.
No.
Danny Rand and the Marvel Netflix series,
right?
Kind of dumb. He's a little dumb.
He's supposed to be the comic relief.
Yeah, I get that.
And the comic relief can't carry an entire series.
No, but and I don't want comic relief with.
No, the Defenders are kind of dark.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
What I want for comic relief is dark humor between Iron Fist and Luke Cage. That's what I want.
Yeah.
You know, like I wanted every one of those to stay dark, like be dark, stay dark, and then we get a little bit of camaraderie.
Yeah.
That brings like these little shining moments in the Defender. So I hope that actually happens. It kind of seems a little bit like they're having our Daredevil boy. That guy. I don't know. But I like the conflicts that the Defenders are dealing with more. I like the gritty realism, and again, those are all so beautifully shot and choreographed.
Yeah,
and all that. Like, you can complain about Iron Fist all that you want, but it had a lot of beautiful shots in it. The shooting of the fight scenes was not particularly great because they did a lot of cutaways and shit.
Well, he's not a traditional martial artist,
right? And
that's that's what it is, right? And so, but that's okay because I think once he's in with the rest of the team, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, hopefully they've got him training and stuff like that, and he's, I don't know, they can do more steady cameras. I actually watched the thing with Jackie Chan, and he was like, you got to keep your camera like still, and you got to practice that choreography, and you got to shoot it 50 times. You got to shoot it 50 times and get it right.
Yeah.
You know.
Pete asks, why not Thunderbolts? Further kick DC's ass. We'll drink to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Agreed.
Hey, welcome back, Mojaf.
Yeah, he's up in here. Welcome back. So Harrison Ford is a badass that we love.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked rather cheekily in his. Did you actually see the video for this?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, he was asked rather cheekily if it's his life's goal now to reboot all of the series that he made famous back in the day, and without missing a beat, just puts it up there and goes, "You bet your ass it is." I was like, you know what? Fantastic.
That dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad he seems I'm glad he seems like he's enjoying some of these shows now.
Yeah.
Like, he leaned up and he's like, "You bet your ass!" And I thought he was gonna jump off stage and just like curb stomp this motherfucker. But then he like everybody's like hooping and hollering at him, and he sits back and smiles and he's like, "Yeah, that's right. I'm a minor deity amongst nerds."
Well, but it's interesting
Don't you get
because
saucy
like
with me.
right, he and Carrie Fisher
Mm-hmm.
made such a great team because their dark humor they brought, and we were talking about this about episode 7 again the other day. Like they brought dark humor to that movie, even though those were the tenser moments in the movie. They brought the levity of like, no, it's okay. Like they captured what it's like being married to your best friend so well, and it was just like, it was heartstrings the whole time. And so when he does things like this at Comic-Con and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, it's work, it's a pain in the ass sometimes like that, but it's like, you know what, maybe he's finally enjoying it now, and I think that's great, of all the things he's done, right?
Yeah, just not taking himself too seriously, probably because spoilers, he did.
Yeah.
that's what we got.
Hey, you know how Nintendo said they weren't gonna stop making 3DSs even though the Switch is out? Guess what they started doing this week?
Not making 3DSs.
In certain territories, they are no longer making 3DSs. So, if you got a 3DS, hang on to it. It's gonna be there around for a while.
So I understand. Yeah. I get it. If you go, this is dying, then
you pretty much tanked your sales,
right?
For the what's left of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It seems kind of shitty that I left my phone on and it's buzzing in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Hello. No, it seems kind of shitty that they were like, no, everything's fine. Keep buying DSs. Yeah. We're gonna keep doing our thing, and it's like, clearly you're not.
There's a big PR hate going on right now because there's a lot of in the gaming industry. The PR teams for these companies will just come out straight up and be like, no, that is remotely false. And then like 2 days later, be like, yeah, we did announce that game. Thanks. They said the same thing about Beyond Good and Evil 2, which in the Long Lost episode, we talked a lot about. You missed it.
Bang, bang, motherfucker.
Yeah. But up until the launch or the announcement of that, they kept denying, no, it's not going to be at E3. It's not. No, we haven't been working on it. Well, maybe down the line we'll talk about it, and then boom, drops trailer.
Right.
And it's like, come on now. And Nintendo still there's a couple of games coming out for 3DS. One of them is the Metroid game that you want.
So bad.
Right? And so but I think what we've seen is the end of Nintendo first party games on the 3DS at all. I think those were the last ones they just had in the catalog, and they were like, you know what? Let's just finish it. Give it to the interns. We'll finish it.
I feel like for me the nail in the coffin was the Pokemon announce.
Oh, absolutely.
When they're like, we're working on a primary title, like Pokemon title, for 3DS.
Right.
I was like, why the fuck would you have the 3DS anymore at this point? Like, if you're gonna put Pokemon on the Switch,
put it on the Switch. Yeah,
put it on the Switch, man. Do cool shit. I'm pumped about it.
No, Pete. Nintendo can't be trusted about just about anything. Pretty much. Like, have you seen how you're supposed to use the online chat functionality?
No.
You have to have a second peripheral. You have to have your phone on, plugged in, and the peripheral looks like a little squid, and it comes off the phone, or it comes out of the phone into your headset, and you use your phone. Basically, why the fuck would you do that? Why don't you just use Discord? Why the hell? There's like 4 wires to make it happen. Look it up. I don't have a full screen for this one. I'm sorry to prepare it. But like, it is the look it up. Look it up right now. Look it up.
I don't understand.
Look it up.
What?
Look up Nintendo
Switch.
Chat headset. Here we go. Chat headset.
Chat headset.
Yeah. It's this Platoon. You can look one up.
Mojev says, I think that's just about any game company, really. And again, I think it's like a business kind of situation where as soon as you admit to something like the DS dying, right, you lose all your sales. But in the situation where it's like, no, we're not going to have Beyond Good and Evil at E3. Were you saving that as like this big surprise? Because it probably would have gotten a lot more people tuning in.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have a trailer for Beyond Good and Evil. Like,
yeah. No, look at what I just put in the chat. This is a diagram of what has to happen to get it to use. And fuck all if you're using a iPhone 7, because it doesn't. You got to plug it in, and you got to have another cable to plug your phone and charge it at the same time or whatever. Yeah,
this is just like a headset, just to like be able.
That's a headset. No. Are you looking at the item? You're looking at this diagram that shows you.
Yeah.
So it's a headset was what I pulled up, but it has the correct diagram of like how it goes out of the Switch and into this little receiver thing, and then into a headset, and then also into your phone, where you have to have the phone app, and the phone can't go to sleep while you're running the app. Why the fuck would you do that?
So I guess iPhone users are out.
Pretty much. I got nothing. Not one hole. Just
Beautiful.
one.
It's excruciating. Everything comes out of the one hole.
But it's like when I'm on my iPhone, I could just turn on. And we found our podcast title. But it's like on here, I could just pull up Discord and talk with you in 2 seconds, just like that. Turn it on. Why would you do that, Nintendo? Why? That wasn't even on the list. I just wanted to scream about that. Because we haven't had a chance to talk about it. So
yeah.
Anyways, not to be outdone by stupid video game stuff, Atari this week announced the new Atari box.
What?
It is supposed to have old and new Atari games. Would you like to know what the one problem with that is, Hoover?
Yeah.
Atari doesn't really own any of their old games anymore. They have sold them off when they were running out of money.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going to be on this box. It has modern hardware. It plugs in via HDMI. It looks like an old Atari 2600 console, but I have no fucking clue what is supposed to be on this goddamn console.
Announcing the brand new Atari box. Look at this spectacular new Atari box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just literally like a cardboard box. And you open it up and like two kids are like, whoa!
Yeah.
HDMI compatible, and it's just like a hole cut with like a box knife in the back that just has HDMI written over the top of it, and you just shove an HDMI cable in there. Ugh.
So yeah, it's actually kind of like that. It's like they made a plastic shell, and this is literally, they have no idea, like they have nothing listed as to what's gonna be on this. The Verge says that it's gonna be like an NES classic,
because it's a cardboard box. Is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a cardboard box. That's it. They're gonna have two ping pong ping pong paddles, and a ping pong ball, and they're gonna be like, see, pong.
Well, I mean, it has USB peripherals. So, but they haven't.
So it's got USB paddles. Great. I'm so excited for USB paddles.
That's the thing.
To come in my cardboard box.
They haven't actually showed us what the peripherals look like. They literally have only showed us this box, and it's mostly black. And it's got a little bit of wood grain on the front to make it look like it's probably painted sticker. Like, to make it look like the old Ataris. And that's all we fucking know about
Atari's new Atari box console will be like an NES Classic, but unlike an NES Classic, nobody will care.
Right, you won't have a scarcity problem with the Atari box like you did with the SNES Classic.
Be like, we're taking pre-orders, and like the one guy walking by is going to be like, on what?
You can still get the Sega is actually announcing a new one too, and the one that was out previously wasn't terrible from what I heard, but the new one actually seems to be better. So all that was old is new again, apparently. Or you could just make a Raspberry Pi and make it look like a Nintendo Classic and plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying steal stuff, but when it goes online at Walmart at 8:01. And at 8:02, the motherfucker sold out SNES Classic. There's something wrong with that, as people found out this past weekend when they tried to find a SNES.
Speaking of despair and deep betrayal,
are we making a hard left into Westeros?
We know.
That's a spoiler warning, by the way. If you haven't watched this week's Game of Thrones, we're going to talk about it.
We know next to another we know.
All right, all I have to say out of this week is the ending shot.
Was Gentry rowing the boat?
It better fucking be Gentry rowing the goddamn boat back. It better be Gentry rowing the boat back. He just really go like come on, like
with
Theon. Hello.
With just the most look on his face, just I'm over it. Look at my arms. I'm fucking jacked.
He's got fucking Popeye arms. Just no. Yeah.
No. Speaking of Popeye, I know this is at the end of the episode.
Yes.
Whoa, man. Some Greyjoy kick ass.
Yeah, you're on.
I wish.
Oh my god! Now I can't not see Popeye. You know that shot of him going. Oh, I just kidding.
I mean,
I want to like recut that with Popeye sounds now.
I don't give a fuck about anybody who died on that ship, but at the same time, thank God they did.
But you're sand snakes.
My sand snakes. I'm finally a little interested in what's going on with them because they greatly affect Danny's plot.
Right.
But
and then they were taken away.
But it's like two of the three sand snakes got killed with their own weapons, and I was just like, thank you. You're doing God's work, lad. You're doing God's work.
It's like
God bless you.
This week's episode was a giant dick tease. It really was. Because we got Grey Worm and how do you pronounce her name?
Boy.
Yeah.
Grey Worm doing business. By the way.
Yeah, Grey Worm did some work.
Did they say like the whole kit and caboodle was gone, or did what?
Yeah, like, the meme is basically like, ladies, I still have a tongue.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was my whole thing. Is he was like, I don't want you to see. And honestly, like, I've had a vasectomy. Like, I wouldn't care if they weren't completely there. That doesn't make a difference to me. Like, but I didn't know if it was like if they were like castrated or if they were like straight up like.
I'd have to look it up. Somebody let us know in the chat, but I'd have to look it up.
I assumed based on the context that they go to do the horizontal monster mash, and he's like, "I got you, baby." I was like, "Boy."
Yeah, but you notice he went for the weapons that he had on him.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me think that he doesn't have all of the weapons to work with, because that's one of their ways of like keeping the slaves in line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did not bother. How do you pronounce it? Missandre? Did not seem to bother her whatsoever. And you know what? That was my shining moment of this week, because like the tension between those two, dude. And they were like, I fear now. And I'm like, yes, love, my God, yes.
I love those. So like you have like poetic, like your eyes are like blah, blah, blah. Like all of that. I mean, he started out by like, he was like, he says something like, you're my fear or something like that. And she's like, yeah. She's like, motherfucker, what'd you say? Like, he just about killed it right there. She could have been like, okay, I'm going to go. But then, like,
she was like, no, boo, I got you.
He gets, like, real deep into that.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't fear anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. Some kids are afraid of wolves. Some kids are afraid of water. Some kids are afraid of snakes. Like, I fear nothing except being away from you. And I was like, you can have me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over here on the couch, like, yeah, man.
You're getting undressed for it,
I'm
like, right?
It. I'm feeling it. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Hot and bothered. Good work.
I mean,
good work.
Woo!
By the way,
great scene.
Dude's a rapper. By the way,
is he for real?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been on Game Grumps a couple times. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love him in this show.
I mean, I'm liking this guy every bit more and more.
Those two are the only two that I actually feel like are going to survive, because they look at each other and they're like, I got you, and she's like, nah, I got you too. Like, what we gonna do? She's like, if I get a signal, motherfucker, we out of here.
Yeah. Everybody else, like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. They can do the horizontal monster mash, and they can have whatever bonds, but at the end of the day, I'm like, something could go sideways and they'll just murder the shit out of each other.
Right?
But
I'm
not
waiting
those
for
two.
her to pick up a dagger and just start killing fools too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Continuing to rewind through the episode, speaking of picking up a dagger and killing fools.
Yeah.
No idea what's going on with Arya now. By the by. Like, I was just ready for her to be the one that's like gonna take Cersei and just fucking like she was gonna be she was just gonna be laying out all the murder down south, and then she was like,
well, her tragedy continues because she got to the Red Wedding late.
mm-hmm.
She got to King's Landing the first time, I think, late.
Mm-hmm.
And had to get smuggled out. So this just continues her plot line that she's late on everything. I don't think that's going to stop her from trying to go get Cersei. I really don't. So yeah, I just, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting how that's going to go.
So I saw
somebody in the chat just said unfrosted Pop-Tarts are a class hate crime. I agree, by the way. I agree wholeheartedly. But like she's always late to the party on every one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really tragic. And then the whole thing with the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
But that should have been your sign when the wolves were like, and she's like, I'm going back to Winterfell, and the wolves were like, honey, we ain't going back there.
Well, so it's interesting, and I don't think that it's over, right?
No, I don't think it is either.
I read like a couple episode summaries and all that, and after reading through it a couple of times, some people pointed out that what she said afterwards, that's not you, wasn't like, well, that's not my dire wolf,
right?
That she wasn't saying that. There was a reference to one of the first episode where Ned says like, you're gonna marry a guy and you're gonna have lots of kids and you're gonna be warm and comfortable and die old and fat and happy.
Yeah.
And she says, that's not me.
Yeah.
So I feel like she was like, go back to Winterfell with me, please.
Yeah.
And Wolf goes off and she's like, she understands and she's like, that's not you.
Yeah. No,
you don't belong there. Yeah. You're down here. But I don't think that's done.
Mm-mm.
I think the conflict is going to push everybody up north, further south, and I think that the whole direwolf thing is going to come back around.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you said it last week. Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Everything is getting loaded because they've only got 7 episodes, right? So they got to get through this shit quick. That's why John's already at Dragonstone next episode.
Right. Which I'm loving that, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
this
whole season's
with the formalities.
Gonna be him
Let's get the war on, baby.
Fucking down to Dragonstone, and then they're gonna be like, he's gonna be like, I should go down to Dragonstone, and then like smash cut, I'm down to Dragonstone. Like, that's the pace that they're taking this season, and I love it because they're getting it done.
Yeah,
like
all the way through.
Yes, give me more answers, more death.
It's interesting too. So I'm gonna go back to Gendry a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I made the joke about him rowing back up to Dragonstone.
He's gonna punch all the White Walkers to death.
Well, so did we talk about last episode how the White Walker's just going to go around the wall?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we talked about that. I still believe that because if you watch the opening credits, they are kind of going that way. But Gendry, you remember in the first season when Cersei said she had a child that died? It was her dark-haired beauty or whatever like that died at birth.
Maybe.
Okay,
where are you going with it?
That was Gendry,
who
is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne.
Well, wasn't that why he had to split in the first place? I thought he was one of Robert Baratheon's bastards.
But it's not a bastard. It is Robert and Cersei's kid. Legitimately. That's the thing. And remember, as much of an asshole as Cersei is, she's protected her children. So when she realized that, like when she didn't want to have kids with Robert, right? They just quietly smuggled him out. And so the only 3 kids that she had were the Lannisters, right? Were the purebloods.
Right.
And she didn't want one from Robert being around.
So
when Joffrey started killing off all the bastards, gone, right?
Interesting.
So he was sold to a apprentice, right? And it was a mysterious, like, he wouldn't have taken him as an apprentice because the kid literally grew up like poor, flea, what do they call it? Flea bottom, right? But then he was taken in by one of the best apprentices in King's Landing, seriously, because the guy paid him twice as much money to do it.
It's interesting.
And then all of a sudden he's an amazing blacksmith apprentice and then gets shipped the fuck off to the wall. Stroking beards.
Stroking beards.
Yeah.
highly suspicious.
Right? So it's a bit of a reach, but it's kind of one of those things. Like I brought it up last week as a joke, but I was like did some research more into it and all like that. And it's like,
yeah, the thing is
interesting.
If Cersei gets offed, right?
Right.
And then he like for some reason that card is dealt, and it's like
I don't think she's gonna get offed. I think his ass is in King's Landing somewhere.
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's only two circumstances that he would take the throne. He gives him the throne for some reason.
Nobody gives anybody the throne.
Right.
He's going to have to take it back. But see, here's the thing. Ned Stark...
But she would be the only person that could validate him.
Wrong. Remember, Ned Stark was looking in books. And that's how he figured out that... Well, he knew that Gendry was one of Robert's bastards anyways, right? Mm-hmm. Because he just looked at him, right? They looked... but Ned was the last person to look in the books and figure out that, like, wait, they're all brown-haired.
Mm-hmm.
But these kids are blonde-haired. And that's when he was like, that's why he got beheaded, right? He went to Cersei and was like, I know you fucking Jaime. What's up? And then shit, then this whole thing started.
Schlop.
Schlop. Who else is around a lot of books? Who else is writing the history of Robert Baratheon after his death?
Okay. All right.
Who else?
Still feels like a little bit of a stretch.
Still a bit of a stretch. I'm not gonna lie. But that is my theory. I'm putting out there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fast forward to the end of the final season. We pan out. Sam closes a book that says "A Song of Fire and Ice," and he was the fucking author the whole time.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. No,
I'll take that.
I actually do. I believe the Gendry thing is a little bit of a stretch.
Uh-huh.
The Sam thing, I feel almost 100% like, because remember he just said this past week, he was like, yeah, but that title kind of sucks when he was talking to the Archmaester, right? When the Archmaester was like, well, you write the history of Robert Baratheon and the wars after. And he's like, nah, it's not poetic enough.
Right. And
it's like in the books, he's like, well, he loves song and dance and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, so their whole job is to, You
know what would be great is if it wasn't him closing the book, like having finished writing it or something like that. Mm-hmm. But if, like, after winter has passed and summer has come again, like, it's somebody reading about, like, the events.
Or no, it's him as the Archmaester, and one of his students is closing the book afterwards.
Could be.
Or we pan out and he's a Death Knight as well and just closes the...
And he's the Lich and, you know.
There was also an interesting... You'll like this because you and I work in the same field. There was an interesting comparison about the way they shoot. You know that one time when the Night King was walking up to the edge and then he was like, come at me, bro?
Yeah.
They shoot him, Jon, and Dany the exact same way, where they pan on the feet first and then they do a slow tilt up, and then they show the face. And that's not done with a ton of other characters. Again, a little bit of a stretch, but like, nothing is ever wasted in this show anymore.
Yeah.
So I find that kind of interesting overall.
I wonder if winter is absolutely entirely inescapable.
Kind of makes you wonder, yeah.
And like the maybe that Lich is like the previous surviving king or whatever, something like that.
They are. I read a history. They are. I'm gonna fuck the history up because it's been a little while. But they are actually people who have become the Night King.
Right.
And there was like a succession line of who all was the new Night, stuff like that. So, look it up. Let's see.
That's cool.
Yep.
I wonder if they'll play with that.
I think they might. So.
I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I'm here for you, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
Pokemon Go Fest. You heard anything about this?
I heard it didn't go very well.
It did not go very well.
I heard the fucking app didn't work while
the app crashed a lot.
Yeah, it
people
got
lost
overloaded.
A ton. It was a muddy mess out in Hyde Park in Chicago.
I didn't realize people were still fucking playing
Park.
that.
Me neither. To be quite honest,
they keep on destroying it, and I realize
they have fucked everything they possibly can about this game.
As I continue to speak about this game that I was so happy about, I'm over here like choking the shit out of your little rubber ducky.
He's killing the rubber duck.
I was like, yeah, whatever
Niantic.
they are.
Hey, let's roll for Niantic right now. Oh look, it's a 2.
I got a duck.
Yeah, it didn't go well. It was a disaster to say the least. At one point the CEO got up there, and the crowd booed him and then screamed, "Fix the game." and they started chanting like "Fix the game, fix the game," and I'm
Fuck
like,
your mom.
right. I was just and so like today they've issued a lot of refunds and things like that for it. Like it was only supposed to be like $20 to get in,
Mm-hmm.
but the tickets went so fast. Of course, the scalpers and all that kind of stuff. Some people were paid or said to have paid a lot of money to get into it, and it's just
scalpers.
like, geez, kind of thing. So yeah, it was not good. I do know people who still play Pokemon Go. I don't get it. There is nothing else to this game. Unlike Fortnite, which we have had a lot of fun with. Segue.
We talk about Fortnite now.
Segue. Let's do it.
Can we open up that can of worms? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, girl. Made me feel so good. I'm in love with Fortnite. As Pete has so lovingly put it, they have crammed every successful mechanic from every game in the last 10 years into one game, and somehow it's not a shit show.
Pete is playing Fortnite right now. He just said it in the chat. Yes.
I mean, his line specifically was like, wait a minute, you can combine one survivor with another survivor to get a third survivor. They fucking took the Pokemon breeding mechanics and crammed that shit into this game too.
There are more UIs and menus in this game than like
UI,
Elite Dangerous.
The UI is a mess. The amount of cards that you have, you're just constantly taking in. Absolutely ridiculous. The inventory is absurd.
Inventory management is terrible.
I mean, there's so many things where I'm just like, what the fuck? And yet I am still glued to it. Like I'm just I'm ready to stop doing this and go home and play some more Fortnite.
Yeah,
I got to record a couple of hot minutes.
Yeah,
but then I'll be like, yeah, maybe I'm just gonna edit for a
little.
Well,
Joe's gonna have a video on Fortnite.
Yeah,
soon.
Putting the pressure on you, Joe.
Well, he's put the pressure on us because he needs us to help us finish. So we'll get to it. I sense nerds coming in the chat in a second. But there's something about this game. It's fun, by the way.
It is.
Good. Pete reminds us that you must click the map button instead of the play button to play. That is correct. That is part of the bad UX of this game.
It's real bad.
It is real bad. They need to fix it. It's not first edition WoW bad. Mm-hmm. It might be worse than that. But I have uttered the words that I haven't uttered in a very long time. And I mean a very long time. As in 4,000 miles away in another life, in another time. Hang on, honey, I need to log in and run a daily.
Oof.
I'll be downstairs in 20 minutes. I need to run my dailies.
It's been a long time.
That's how that's how you have to do it. Like it's just they have dailies, they have all these special quests and stuff to keep you going. It's not boring yet. If you're a loot monster like we are to a degree, you get a lot of loot, man. That feels good. Feels real good.
Whole lot of loot. Not too many gold llamas. Unfortunately,
no,
not a whole lot of gold llamas out there.
I gotten 2 and some silvers.
Not for Hoover.
None for Hoover. It was. I didn't know what was happening. I hit it the first time and it turned silver, and I was like, Colossus. I got really excited. And then it turned.
Does your dick turn to metal too? Whoa. That seems really inconvenient. Is it like still? Can you still aim it, or is it just like stuck however it is? Like if you do the metal thing while your sack is stuck to your leg, are they like fused together?
Wait.
For the duration?
Wait. Why are you talking like this? Wait.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Fortnite's great.
Fortnite's great. There is a lot of issues to that game, but the overall gameplay so far, the fact that you can build a
Should we summarize that gameplay real quick?
Yes. We should do some journalism.
It's like it's a mission-based zombie survival game. You have several different types of missions, like there are mythic tier items. What? Pete's telling us there's mythic tier items.
Mythic tier items. It's blowing our minds right now.
I don't know if my heart can handle that. So it's a mission-based game.
Roll for mythics.
it's a mission-based game where you have like missions where you rescue survivors, or you have to protect like a storm van. All of these zombies, quote unquote zombies, are called husks, and they're like zombies that have sprouted out of other people, so their skin is like still on them. They have sprouted out of their skin basically. So you see the people that they were flopping on their back like hoodies. And
spoiler alert, it's like the same people every time.
it's so like adorably done, like the color palette and all the stylized nature of everything. It's
actually really like the art direction is really, really nice here. It's tough, but it's not scary zombie.
Yeah, it's
a little Plants vs Zombies almost.
Yeah, kinda. It's very lighthearted, and I'm kind of getting over the dark and gritty everything. You know, like I want dark and gritty in some things, like The Defenders. Yeah. But I don't need all of my games to be super tense.
We have a love of the headshot animation that happens with the like when it like explodes and it gets like the big head with the X's over the eyes and stuff. That's really fun. It's just really satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
It's really satisfying to do it. So, you know, the build and defend kind of thing, it's all the different scenarios and stuff like that don't feel forced yet. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of it to me. And it feels like it's one of those kind of things where each time's going to be a little bit different. And then you've got your home base. Yeah. You're going to end up having 4 home bases, I think, in the end.
One of your missions is the actual home base. Your fort that persists. Every time you come back, it remembers what you had built and how you had built it and all that. Yeah. So you get to develop your own little like safe house.
Yeah, and that is a whole new way of like decorating your, you know, Lance from the show. Like, you know, he made his your way. I was helping you build yours up the other day.
Like
that
an
was fun.
Upside down pyramid thing.
You do have the upside down pyramid thing. It's cool. Fantastic. Yeah, no, it's great. I think it's hilarious. Yeah. You know, and I just think it's one of those things where like, I don't know, it's just it makes you. Joe says it makes you feel good. And it's like, yeah, it kind of does. It's just kind of fun, satisfying gameplay. You got a 4-player co-op in there. You know, you're always matched up with somebody else, but it doesn't feel like anybody on your squad can necessarily like completely screw you over in the end of it. So like you can do a lot of the work that needs to get done to help defend the point and stuff. It's just there's a lot of fun gameplay to it.
I feel like the best part of it is the building.
Absolutely. It's like, what Fallout 4's building system should have been. No. It snaps so well. You can do all these different types of walls and stuff. You don't have to have all these things.
You can edit it on the fly, or you can edit it after you set it down. Yeah. So you can set down a wall, and then you can punch a door in it. And then if you're like, I don't like the door here. Yeah. You can take the door back out, and then you can turn it into an archway, and then you can turn it into a half archway, and then you can turn it into a low wall. Yeah. And then you can turn it into a full wall again. Right. And so every one of these pieces, you want to drop them and you want to just fuck around with them for a little bit. Yeah. Like, what can I do?
And then, you want to learn. You know? Well, and then the game does that thing with the radar towers to teach you how to build certain things. Mm-hmm. I've heard probably from, I don't know, a handful of other people that we played with, you know, and when they finally discover the radio towers, they're like, man, this is teaching me new ways to build I didn't know were available. And it's like, yeah, man, it's like... Mm-hmm. It's really satisfying to kind of like learn the different schematics and things like that. Yeah. And then you get back to your inventory screen in between missions and it's a goddamn clusterfuck. But
but you're still like, there's purple in here, and that's really I think I feel good about that.
Well, it's I mean, were epic tiers in WoW orange as well? I pretty much think it's following the same color scheme.
It's legendary.
Legendary. Yeah.
So mythic is probably like, I don't know, poop brown.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't have an epic tier or anything yet. I've got legendary, but not epic.
Yeah. That's the other thing is you can kind of get into legendary stuff pretty quickly. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to make it less valuable later.
Like, right. Yeah.
Well, if you're not wearing all legendaries, then what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, I've seen... I was watching a stream earlier today where they had a level 24 hero running around, and... I loved the outfit that they were running around in. It was kind of this retro, like, astronaut kind of thing. That was cool. And so, like, I don't know, it just felt good. They were doing the same things that we're doing right now at levels 15, 16 or so. So, you know, they jumped ahead 10 levels plus. They were still kind of doing the same thing, but you could tell that they were doing it in a way that was still felt fresh and new to them. Yeah. They were still discovering stuff. They were still putting together. Right. You know. radar towers and mythics and shit like that. But they were on the, they started with the purple, which is kind of what in the founders' time right now. We're getting a lot of purple drops and stuff like that because we're in the
mythic is yellow, by the way.
Mythic so legendary is orange, mythic is yellow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need a level 7 loot chest after one of these to do it? Like, I don't know how you get those. We've been doing everything the best we can.
I think you just have to. You're gonna have to end up being in higher level missions and then also kick ass.
Yeah. Well, we got a decent little group, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
so,
man. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great. I would probably rate it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. We might change that a little bit later. 8 out of 10. But...
I'll give it. I don't know. 8 feels a little generous.
Okay.
Fix that UI. And let me see some more of the game.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say if they fix that UI and they button some stuff up, I actually still really like the skill trees and stuff like that. But the things like the collection books and then like the survivors and deploying your survivors for resources and all that kind of stuff. It's
grindy as hell. That's the thing. It's as grindy as a free to play game could be.
Yeah.
Which Warframe is very grindy. We're gonna keep going back to that as like our bar for free to play games, but like Warframe is pretty grindy. But at the same time, we didn't buy it.
Yeah. And I mean, I give Warframe like a 9 out of 10 because the same situation. There's just a lot of shit going on, and there's not like a great explanation of what you need to do when. But at the same time, like I wish they had those options.
Yeah.
But it also kind of layers in like some mystery there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's debatable. The point is, it's very, very playable.
Yeah.
And they will eventually update the UI, and it will be better.
Absolutely.
At some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it was clearly made for a console first, and they ported it over to a PC, and hopefully somebody will take some time to look at it. I don't know why, but in the industry, it seems like UI, UX people are like not as valued as they should be. But like, if your shit isn't usable, then you have a pretty fundamental error.
Yeah. Let's get Kate Welch on the show and see if she agrees with this, who's a UI designer. And Acquisition Incorporated CT member. So let's get her on the show and see if she can't school us on that one. I think that'd be great. We do know, by the way, as I got schooled at work today too, because somebody was asking about Gigantic that came out, and just jokingly I was like, "Can't talk now, still building my fort." I got a fucking like manifesto back from them. I haven't read it yet, but I just like looked at it. I was like, I ain't got that much time on the toilet. So I'll read it again. Yes, we know Gigantic came out this week. We know it's a local game. We will give it a shot. It's like a MOBA / FPS. Not usually my cup of tea.
Me either.
Didn't like Battleborn either. You know, Battleborn actually did a lot of stuff. It kind of messed itself up a little bit there too, but we'll give it a shot. You know, we know. There's some other games that are coming out here. The Pyre is coming out as well. I think it's actually out now.
Is it?
That's the new Supergiant game. So yeah, we know a lot of these are out. We're gonna catch back up to them. So
woo, so many games. Oh yeah, Pyre.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
Yeah. No, Gigantic started out on the Windows Store. It's now on Steam. Thankfully, because nobody buys shit from the Windows Store.
You know what else came out this week?
What's that? Oh yes, Pete's Stream of Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
Pete, are we getting any more Dream Daddy? Please say yes, because I only caught like half the stream today.
If even if he's over Dream Daddy, go watch the VOD.
Please do. I mean, it's fantastic.
I mean, the Game Grumps came out with a dad dating simulator. It's so
Is
good.
It supposed to be? So it's. I'll ask this off camera.
Is it supposed to be really gay? Probably. Have you met the Game Grumps? I like it. I still like it.
Don't they have a song called "Danny's Really Gay" or something like that? Isn't that them, Ninja Sex Party or whatever like that? Yeah. Somebody will tell me. Pete says objectively it's a good game for the genre. I'll take your word on that one. I've never played another dating sim.
I was gonna say apparently Pete's a big connoisseur of well,
it's big. It's been in Japan for a while.
Yeah.
The dating simulators and stuff like that, and so I don't know. It looked like a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun with everybody in chat. So, and Pete was doing an amazing job streaming it. So
as always.
Yeah.
As he does.
So, Apparently, we get more tomorrow. So if you're listening to this podcast and it's Wednesday morning, go pause the podcast, go listen to Pete, and then come back to us.
Oh yeah,
So.
yeah. No, he's good.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of things.
Yeah.
That Pete could do.
Indeed. I think that's a great place to. Well, it didn't help that every time. It didn't help that A, his character's named Hoover, and B, I was.
I forgot about that. I tuned into the stream. I was so fucking busy today. I left it up on my laptop today, and I just come by and I'd see like this scrawny ass redhead guy with a green mustache pop in and Hoover over his head. And then I'd hear like I'd pick up my headphones and I'd put my headphones on and look away and I'd hear like bring. Oh, those were eggplants. Definitely nothing but eggplants.
Eggplants and hearts.
And I just like, okay, I'm just gonna take these headphones back off. I'm really busy today. Probably shouldn't be leaving this on my laptop for everybody to see.
It didn't help that in the chat the entire time I was just like, get it, boy, get it, boy.
You gotta tap that ass.
It's just every new dad that came up on that whole thing too. I was like, I tuned back in this afternoon when the goth dad was in there, and I was just like, hit it. Go Victorian on his ass.
You're like looking around the office and you're like, take a bite out of that booty. You got it. Take a bite out of that vampire booty.
But my coworker that sits next to me just kind of like leaned over. He's like, he's hot. And I'm like, yeah, right?
Shiv cries.
And on that note, you guys have been listening to Super Magical Podcast. Big thanks to I'm gonna fuck your name up, Johnny Rebel Boy, Sage 307 for joining us this week in the chat.
And thank you, Mojab, for coming back.
And thank you, Mojab, for coming back.
Nice having you.
If you haven't already, please subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, or any podcatcher that you have out there. We're on just about anything because we're horse like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Leave us a 5-star review. If you're watching the shows on the Super Magical Network, please give us a follow on both Twitch and on YouTube. Make sure you say something in the review, or just send us a heads up that you followed, so we can give you a shout out here in the notes. We have links to everything in the show notes every week. We don't do any paid advertising for the show, so you guys, helping us out with word of mouth and stuff like that is pretty much the only way we get out there. So your generosity, dude, hitting us right here, man, for real. The podcast is recorded here in Seattle. It's a production of Super Magical and Humanoid Games. Executive producer is the ever-present Gator Pete. Our benevolent overlord is Grandpa Joe. If you have a comment or question of the show, you want us to read us out something, but you can't join us live, hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. Our Twitter handles are actually on screen right now. It's The Malaman, and Hoover is bad, all one word. Or you can find us on Facebook. Search Super Magical Podcast. From a man Hoover in front of me. We will see you guys this time next week.
Right.
Yeah.
To all the ladies, good night.
And to all the men,
good morning.
Yeah.